morning and welcome to the show. The topic this morning is teen violence. And we're here to talk about teen violence and black-on-black crime and some of the other problems generally associated with teen violence. Is Mr. Sidney Wingfield. And let me welcome you to the show this morning, Mr. Wingfield.
Thank you very much, Dr. Haney. It's a pleasure to be here.
Mr. Wingfield, many of us have become more and more aware of what we mean when we talk about teen violence and some of the problems that have been created dealing with violence in the younger population. But from a sociological point of view, exactly what are we talking about when we talk about teen violence?
Well, we're talking about a tremendous problem that's facing the black community in the United States as a whole. The situation and the statistics basically point to a consistent level clear across the United States and Tennessee. The age range of 15 to 25 years of age is homicide, and that is when I'm talking about murder of one black male to another black male, is the largest single cause of death for that age group. Okay, 15 to 25 years old, the leading cause is murder or homicide. And as the statistics go on, it gets a little bit worse and probably affects even more people from age 15 on up to 25 through 44. Homicide is the third largest cause of death for black males in that category. And that is usually black-on-black crime. The situation has gotten so bad in the last 10 years or so that we're finally recognizing, and some people even classifying homicide in the black community as a disease. And we do have some programs in operation to try and correct that situation. Nashville, Tennessee, I think the statistics were in May. We had approximately, if I can recall that figure, 26 homicides in Nashville, Tennessee. Out of that 26, 17 were black male victims. Approximately 80% of the deaths of homicide in Nashville, Tennessee in 1990 were black males.
I think it's quite instructive, Mr. Wingfield, the fact that you mentioned homicide as a disease. As a matter of fact, I think the Tennessee Task Force dealing with various kinds of diseases did that classification. And talking about homicide as a disease, what are some of the causes of this kind of violence that we are experiencing?
The causes fall basically across the spectrum: economic, political, and cultural. The black community, in many cases, does not have a lot of control over the economy or the jobs. And this is part of the problem. Underemployment, lack of jobs, the economy, individuals living too close together. And of course, the dropout rate in school. All of these are factors. One other major factor, I think, that we do have some control over is cultural and moral values. And part of the disintegration of cultural and moral values has been the change that we've experienced since the 1960s in the last 30 years. 30 years ago in the 60s, approximately 60% of our families had two parents in the home. All right. Today, it's almost just about 35% is what's left. We only have two-parent families in 35% of the homes in black families in the community, and it's being reflected. We've had a complete reversal. 60% at this particular time are single-parent families, whereas 30 years ago it was only 30%. And one of the things that I do have to say in relationship to this, and I also want to say this to the audience, and I've done counseling for years, and one of the greatest concerns I've had is in dealing with parents. I don't care how hard you try or struggle, you cannot be two people. You can only be one person. Okay. If a mother can be a good mother, she has really done a good job. Now, when she tries to be a good father also, she's really stretching herself. And for her to feel guilty about anything because she's not able to be a good father, I think is something that she needs to look at. And I think something that we need to look at. We don't need to make parents or mothers feel guilty because they can't be two people.
I think that's instructive. As a matter of fact, I think that there is a tendency on many of our parts to talk about what we call single-parent homes.
Right.
And I think that this is what you mean when you say that perhaps we've been too critical and judging persons who come out of these kinds of backgrounds.
Yes. And it's just not theoretical. The reality of it is that guilt, feelings, and feelings of remorse get in the way of the therapeutic process. We need the mother to feel good about herself or the custodial parent to feel good about themselves before we can begin to really help them help the child. And this is why I say that. A lot of times parents always want to blame themselves. Now, another aspect of it is the fact that we have responsibility for our own community. There are some things we can do, and then there are some things that we cannot do. A lot of time is spent criticizing forces that we have no control over, and I don't say that they do not deserve criticism. But what I do say is that the energy might be more well spent in dealing with those things that we can deal with. And I'm very proud to say that we've had many individuals and organizations in Tennessee and in Nashville step forward to try and attack this problem at the level that they can really attack it at. And that is one-on-one contact with children, manifesting to them love and care and attention that they need to have, being mentors to young people, basically those people who have managed to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, reaching back into the communities that they came from, spending time with the children that are left there, supporting our women and our mothers in every possible way that they can, especially morale, helping them with their morale and morals, keeping the kids and giving them value systems. I think one of the things that was very interesting that there's talk about a school in Milwaukee opening up that will be dealing exclusively with black males and the problems that face black males. I'm very happy, to see us try and attack the educational problem. Our children don't seem to be motivated in the school system, and the school system really is overburdened. I think the administrators and the teachers that we have there are doing a fine job under the conditions that they have. One of the things that I like to see, and I encourage all of our black males in the community and our organizations in the community and our females, is to try and look at the situation as positive as you can. We as professionals, we as parents, we as community people have got to put our differences to the side for the sake of the children and do the best we can with what we have to offer.
So basically, when you talk about some of the economic